Good afternoon, my name is Dan Bramble, Battalion Chief with the Payson Fire Department. We're here in Ocala, Florida today doing a final inspection on our custom eMAX Typhoon Pumper. This is one of two sister engines that we've ordered, and they're about a month apart. This is the final inspection on the first one. We're happy to be out here today. So area around Payson, we're about 5,000 feet up in the mountains of central Arizona. We get all 4 seasons, you know, up to 2 feet of snow in the winter times, and over 100-degree temperatures in the summertime. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the bumper design that our apparatus team came up with. The way you see here is not the way it's going to look, so we still have some reconfiguring that's going to happen here before we take delivery. But the concept is, instead of this 2.5 out the bumper here, we want a nice clean bumper look, and this will be an 1.5 inch discharge right out of the front of the bumper right here, and then we'll have another 1.5 inch plumbed into the bumper well here, and then this discharge here will turn into a 3-way valve. So we'll be able to either charge the bumper well, charge this 1.5 inch pre-connect for our wildland progressive hose lays, or the third position will be to charge both of them at the same time. The next thing here right in front of me is, this is our take on a clean cab, if you would, type design. So we shorten these compartments up from up here, shorten them down to here, and this becomes isolated from the rest of the cab, and this is where the engineers' turnouts go. So their complete PPE ensemble will go in this one compartment, and that's where it stays. So isolated from the rest of the cab. It's not off-gassing any contaminants or particulates or carcinogens into the cab where the firefighters are riding, and yet it's immediately accessible. As soon as the engineer gets out of the door, he can don his PPE very quickly. We have an identical compartment on the opposite side with the officer, and they'll do the same thing. This shelf will come out of here, so we'll have one full open compartment for the PPE. Behind this roll-up door is our Speedways and our 1 and 2 pre-connects. So we went with the painted doors. We felt that was a better look for us, and this is a new configuration for us. All of our older trucks, the crosslays are way up high, so whenever you had to reload them, you have to send guys up on top to help facilitate that. This was a safer, more efficient way to go with the Speedways on these trays that just slide right out. The guys can put the trays on the ground, load the hose right there, and then just slide it up. Nobody's getting up on top of the truck. It's safer for everybody, and they plumb into the discharges right inside the opening there. So a much cleaner look. Then over above them, since we freed up all this space, we can now put our Stokes basket and our little giant folding ladder up there. So easily accessible for those when you don't use them too often. But our pre-connects that we use all the time are immediately accessible and at a very ergonomic height. By going with the eMAX chassis, we were able to get a 31-foot overall length. That's from bumper to bumper, tip to tail of our engine, and 182-inch wheelbase. So with the 45-degree cramp angle on this eMAX Typhoon chassis, we're able to turn these things on a dime and really get into the tight places where we need to get. Not particularly for fires, but for EMS calls and all the other events that we run on. The maneuverability was key in some of our narrow roads. One of the additional features of the eMAX for us was being able to conceal the pump panel behind a roll-up door. Keeps the UV rays off of all the plastic gauges that tend to fade and crack and glaze over time in the sun. So being able to protect that was a benefit to us. Okay, so we're up on top of the truck now, and we're standing in a walkway channel. This is brand new concept for our engines, basically brought on with firefighter safety in mind. We very grudgingly sacrificed our hose bed space to get this 16-inch wide walkway in here to prevent our firefighters and reduce the risk of fall on top while you're uploading hose. So it was a sacrifice we felt was important in terms of firefighter safety. But you can see, you walk this whole channel and there's no risk of falling off, very low risk. You got the handles to grab on as you're helping to load your 2.5 or 5-inch hose. So we gave up the 16 inches, but yet we still kept these 10-inch wide coffin boxes here, which were very helpful. And these go full length down the whole hose bed. So gear bags, rope rescue equipment, hand tools for wildland firefighting. All kinds of things can be stored in these coffin boxes, and we have them on both sides of the apparatus. The other thing that you see on this side of the truck here are these hose bed covers, and we feel E1 just did an outstanding job with what they did with these. In Arizona, obviously lots of sunshine, lots of UV rays, so it really tears up your fire hose if you don't have a hose bed cover of some kind. So in our department, we long ago went to the diamond plate covers over our hose bed just for durability and cleanliness. And with this particular one, because we went with this Walkway, we had to have a one-piece hose bed cover to go over our hose. And E1 was able to do one piece, and it goes over the whole hose bed now, but this is now split into two. You can see the hinges back there on the sides, and this is the brace that holds it in both driving and when you're on scene. This folds up just like this. There's a safety pin on the back side of this now in the hinge. This will be our second E1 that we've had. The other E1 in our fleet is a 1995 Cyclone chassis with a big block Detroit diesel in it. Been an outstanding truck. It's still in our reserve fleet 26 years later. Coming back here for our pre-build inspection with our rep was outstanding. For all the gentlemen and firefighters that came out to do that, the ideas that we got to put on this truck from what we saw at other trucks on the line already here at E1's factory in Ocala, Florida, that was an outstanding event, and I recommend that to anybody who's looking to spec a truck. You can see all the pictures you want, but until you walk out on that floor and actually lay hands on it and touch it and feel it and see the difference, there's no comparison. You can't do this thing virtually. You have to be here to actually touch it and drive it and pump it to really appreciate it.